Hi, I'm Rachel Land, and today is my June goals update. So I am on a journey to get out of my student loan debt and lose some weight along the way. If either of those things interest you, please go ahead and click that red subscribe button down below. But like I said, today is goals, so this is all of my goals for the year. So go ahead and stay tuned for that. At the beginning of the year, I set some goals. I did not want to call them New Year's resolutions because those don't always, last past January. I also decided that to keep track of my goals, I needed to do a monthly update and kind of see where I started, see how much progress I've made, and see if there's anything that I need to change and adjust over time. I have already made some changes and adjustments to my goals, and I will continue to make changes and adjustments to my goals as the year goes on. If I am succeeding and doing a great job, then I need to up that goal a little bit so that I can challenge myself. If I am continually not reaching a certain goal, I might have set the bar just a little too high and I need to lower it just a little bit so that I can actually work and achieve and succeed at those goals. So when I set my goals, and I will link the initial video up here in the sky for you, when I set those goals, I used Dave Ramsey's 7 areas of goal setting. That includes family, career, social, intellectual, spiritual, physical, which could be weight loss, but it could just be, if you want to run a marathon or something, even if you already are physically fit. And then, of course, financial. I am going to quickly recap each one of those goals that I set for myself and tell you how I'm doing and tell you if there's anything that I need to change or adjust as we go along. And I do have some adjustments this month, that's for sure. So first of all, my family goal, I set the goal to spend more time with my family. This one is a little bit more vague than a lot of my other goals, but I just wasn't spending as much time with my family as I wanted to. I have actually been doing better at this and making sure to eat meals with my family rather than coming back and working on my computer while I'm eating dinner. That has really made a difference, and while sometimes it feels like an effort because I always feel like I have stuff to get done, I do not regret any extra time that I spend with my family, especially because my mom is very sick, and I have a video on that. If you want to know what's going on with my mom, you can go ahead and check that video out. But it's just very, very important to me that I spend time with my family. I don't want to get caught up in, I always have stuff to do and I always have to get this stuff done, and I prioritize that over my family because my family's not always going to be here and I'm not always going to be here, and so I need to prioritize that time with my family because that is what is really, 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 really important. For my career goals, I had 2 separate career goals. One was for teaching. I am a teacher, and I set a goal to be more efficient at school. I was doing okay with that. The end of the year was really, really hard. I will not lie, the end of the year is always hard. But now that it is officially summer and I am no longer teaching for the summer, I do have a new goal. So if you have not been following my journey or you are new to my channel, I just recently left my current school and I am in the process of looking for a new job at another school. So that is my current goal right now. Instead of being more efficient at school or like trying to get things done over the summer for next school year, my goal right now is to find a teaching job starting in August. I have another career goal, and I put career like in quotation marks, and that is just like how I'm doing here on YouTube. So at the beginning of the year, I made a goal by the end of the year to start earning money from YouTube. Well, I met all of the thresholds, and I was very, very close at the beginning of May to meeting my watch time hours. That was the last thing that I needed. I met that goal, and I was hoping that I would start earning revenue by the end of the month, and I did. Actually, it only took me 1 week to get approved after I had reached 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time. It took me exactly a week to get approved, and I have started earning revenue. Now, it's not that much, and once I have actually been getting paid for a good month, I actually plan on doing a video on how much I've made my first month on YouTube. It's not that much. I mean, it is going up, but it's really not that much, and I did not expect it to be that much, but it is more than I was getting before. And I love doing YouTube. I love the accountability. I love the community. I I love it. I love the process of making videos and putting them up for you. So it is something that I love to do, and it is a passion of mine. I don't know that it will ever be a true career of mine. It is really nice to make at least a little bit of money on this journey. While I'm showing you this journey, it's nice to get compensated at least a little bit, even if it is a very, very little bit. So I have actually met the goal that I had set myself for the end of the year, and it's just the end of May, actually beginning of June, really. But I have to reevaluate this goal because I've already met the goal, so now I need a new goal. Since I have a weird thing with odd numbers, I've decided to try to reach 3,000 subscribers by the end of the year. If I reach that early, then I'll probably go to 5 just because I'm really weird. I don't know what it is with odd numbers, but yet if I eat Tic Tacs, they have to go in pairs. So I don't know, I'm just weird. All right, let's move on. My spiritual goal involved giving more money to my church than I was, and I upped to that and have been doing that. Now that is something that I might have to freeze if I do not have a job come August and I'm not getting paid anymore. Then I will push pause on giving to my church. But for now, I am continuing to do that because I do have faith that I will have a job. So I don't want to stop giving to my church because they do depend on that money, and I don't want to stop that unless I absolutely have to. I also set another goal that involves prayer, and I keep that to myself because it is very personal, but I will go ahead and tell you that I am meeting that goal and still achieving it. I have a social goal of meeting up with a friend at least once a month. That could be a phone call, or it could be in person, or like in the month of January, I actually did a Skype or a Google Hangout phone call with somebody online. So that all works. For the month of May, I kind of knocked this one out of the park. I met with several friends. I met up with Wendy Valencia in person. Go check out her channel. I will link that up there if you don't know who she is, but I'm sure you do because, oh my gosh, she's amazing. She is a wonderful, wonderful person and just so lovely. She was actually in town. I live in Louisville, Kentucky, and she was in town on business, and so she knew that I lived in Louisville, and we just met up and we went to dinner and we just had a lovely time talking, and that happened very early on in the month. I also met up with a friend and we had coffee together somewhere around the middle of the month, and then I also met with some coworkers after a late night at work, and so I was meeting with people all the time. Now in April, I actually did not achieve that goal, and so for the month of May, I said that I needed to call a friend on the phone because that was something that I should have done in the month of April and I didn't do it. So to make up for that, I said that I needed to call a friend in the month of May. I didn't do that. May was pretty busy too. To be honest, I did have time to call a friend. I just don't think about it when I have the time, and then when I don't have the time, that's when I think about it and then I forget. It just is this vicious cycle is what it is, and so I did not call a friend on the phone in the month of May like I wanted to. So I'm going to push that out to June. I would like to call a friend on the phone in the month of June and talk to somebody on the phone to make up for not spending time with any friends in the month of April. For my intellectual goal, that is to read at least one book a month, and I have decided that listening to books definitely counts. At the beginning of the year, it felt a little bit cheaty, but at this point, especially with how busy I am, I'm not considering it cheaty at all, especially because I have started listening more to classics in the car, and those are books that are kind of harder to get to, and once, when you start them, they're kind of harder to get into, at least for me, they are. And so listening to them, it's kind of like I'm forced reading because every time I'm in the car, there's a book playing and I can listen to something. I had also read a couple of really heavy topic books the last few months, and so this last month I decided to listen to and read some more lighthearted books. So what I read in the month of May, I listened to Sense and Sensibility, and that was wonderful. I've seen several movies based on Jane Austen books, but I've never actually like read all the books. Then I also checked out like a physical book. I checked out A Man Called Ove, and I am only about halfway through that one, so I haven't actually finished it, but I am really enjoying that book. I just need to set aside more time for me to like sit and read the book. So I'm about halfway through that one, and I am really enjoying it. And both of those books were much more lighthearted, and just has got me back into like, okay, reading is more fun and it's not going to depress me every time I read, because when I read Where the Crawdads Sing and Before We Were Yours and Winter Garden, those were all so heavy topic books that I've read this year, and so it was nice to like be a little bit more lighthearted. So once I finished Sense and Sensibility, I went back to the library and I checked out Fahrenheit 451. That is one of those classics that's like, well, I'd kind of like to read that. And it was very short, so I was able to finish that one fairly quickly. A little bit more of a heavier topic, and the narrator was kind of weird. I don't know, it was like kind of hard to listen to. But then by the time I finished the book, it was kind of like, well, I don't know if the narrator narrated in that fashion on purpose, but it kind of went along with, you know, the theme of the book in some kind of way. I don't know, it was just kind of weird. The narrator was kind of strange, but I did enjoy the book, and it's a heavier topic and things to think about, but it was short, so, you know, I don't know, I loved it. And so I actually read 2.5 books in the month of May. So for my physical goal, by the end of the year, I would like to lose a little over 50 pounds. I started out the year at 256 pounds, and I wanted to be under 200 pounds by the end of the year. Last month I weighed 232 pounds, and this month, at the beginning of the month, I weighed 233 pounds, so I actually gained a pound from last month. Not the best, but really I've just kind of like maintained my weight in the month of May. And if you consider that I was going through the stress of the end of the year, going through the stress of deciding whether to stay or leave my current job, going through the stress of having extra work that I had to do because I was working a lot more at Churchill Downs, and then on top of that we also had lots of treats and goodies at school. There was Teacher Appreciation Week, and then of course the last week of school there's, you know, gifts and treats and things like that. The last week of school, there was a lot going on in my life in the month of May, and a lot of extra treats and less time for exercise. It was a struggle, and so the fact that I gained 1 pound in the last month, I'm not upset about that at all. I am like relieved actually that it's not more, and I am going into the summer, while I do still have the stress of looking for a job and finding a job, I have more time, and I am really looking forward to kind of like just working on myself and trying to lose more weight a little bit more of a faster rate than I have the last couple of months. Along with my weight loss goals, which I actually made a separate video on that, and so I will link that up there, and I laid out a whole plan of what I was doing to lose weight. So last month I kind of like upped some things because I did a great job in April, and what I wanted to do was do 50 crunches every day, or at least 5 days a week. I didn't do that. I did a few here and there and then just kind of fell off the wagon. I think having like a checklist like I had in the month of April for each day, like I did for the crunch challenge in the month of April, I think like that's a little bit more effective than, oh, just do them every day and then like write it in the calendar. Like that wasn't really working for me. So I think I need to like find another challenge for me to do. I don't know that it will start like right at the beginning of June, especially because June has already started, but I am going to be looking for something else for me to do and to start in the month of June. I also didn't exercise near enough as I should. I pushed pause the last week of school and didn't really get very much exercise in because it was very hectic, and then the week after school I didn't exercise as much as I should have because I was packing and moving things out of my classroom to bring home, and that was a lot of work that didn't get recorded on my calendar, but it is physical activity that I was doing, but it just didn't get recorded. I had also set a goal to do a plank every day, but I actually stopped doing the planks after I had heard some more research online about how planks are really not all that effective and can actually hurt your back, and so I just kind of like gave that up and decided not to do that, and I'm looking into other alternatives rather than just a simple plank. I'm looking into other things, and that goes along with like my other challenges, not necessarily a crunch challenge, but you know, some kind of challenge for me to do coming up soon. So my goals for the summer and mostly June are really just to get back on track, and I would like to do more, but really the main goal is to just get back on track. I also keep track of how many miles I go each month as far as walking and running, and then I want to like beat that each month. So last month I went about 45 miles, which was awesome. Super proud of myself for that. This month I only went like 26 miles, so I didn't do that well. But for the month of June, my plan is to beat last month's 45 miles. So I'd like to go, you know, at least like 45 and a half miles instead of trying to beat like, you know, 26 miles. I don't want to go backwards. I want to keep going forwards. And then finally, my financial goal, that is to pay at least $20,000 towards my graduate student loans by the end of the year. And I think I had even mentioned last month about maybe even raising that to $25,000 by the end of the year. But now that I don't have a job, I'd still like to keep that same goal because I'm just not putting extra money towards my student loans right now. So for the month of May, I only put $110 towards my student loans, and that makes a total of $7,650 approximately that I have put towards my student loans. It would have been a lot more. I put over $3,000 in savings. Tomorrow I will be posting my May budget recap, and you can see exactly how much I put towards debt. So it would have been a much bigger number. But that money is all going into savings just in case I need that money and I don't find a job right away and I need to use that money to live on. So it's like my bare bones budget, which I posted last week. So that is kind of my plan right now, and that money will eventually go to debt. So hopefully in a month or two I'm able to tell you, whoa, I put like $6,000 to debt in 1 month because I was able to save it up, you know, over the last couple months. So that's kind of my hope and my plan. So for right now, that money is just sitting in savings, getting ready to be paid towards debt once I have a job. So those are all of my goals for the year. I would love to know what some of your goals for the year are and how your goals are progressing. Are you doing a great job? Do you check in once a month? How are you doing this year on your goals? And if you haven't set any goals, you need to set them right now. It is never too late to set new goals. So leave me a comment down below and let me know what's going on with you and all of your goals. Also, don't forget to like this video because I did a great job meeting at least most of my goals, not so much in the weight loss area, but I maintained. I haven't really fallen behind, which is great. I'm ready to just take off where I am and keep going on that goal. And of course, don't forget to subscribe if you are not already. I am reaching for 3,000 subscribers by the end of the year. That is going to take some doing for sure. So that is all I have for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.